I don't know in other countries what this kind of is referred to as, but in the US, it's called like the Great American Novel, where people want to write that kind of like canon book along the lines of Mark Twain or whatever, or some sort of book that gets really popular and has staying power and sells all these copies. And that's a nice ideal, but it's not generally reality. In the indie realm, you're usually writing genre fiction that's going to appeal to a specific segment of the market. And that may be a very large segment of the market. James Patterson writes genre fiction. Lee Child writes genre fiction. That their books sell millions of copies, but it's just a different kind of mindset and approach. They're very commercially minded in the structure and the writing and how everything is branded. And that's not by mistake. That's all really thought through. And it's obviously successful. But that's going to be what most working authors, regardless of whether you're traditionally published or indie published, that's usually what is going to happen. I think what happens is that the outliers are the type of authors that we all read in school, or if you go to college or university and get an English degree, then those are also going to be outliers. So we come to it with this mindset that we can write this one book or this handful of books over our career, where you're writing 4 or 5 and they all just live on forever and keep getting purchased to perpetuity. But that's not really the case. You got to keep writing.
Yeah, I don't know about over there, but certainly in the UK, we tend to study the same books.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're all still studying things from like the 50s and the 60s, maybe the 70s. So they were traditionally published in a world that was very, very different, when you could be Harper Lee or J.D. Salinger, and that one book would change your life and you could make millions off it and then just retire and hide like J.D. Salinger did for the rest of your life. But that's not the life of an indie author anymore. It's almost turned into a culture of personality. And the more your readers feel like they have a connection with you, the bigger you can grow your brand.
Yeah. So, you just have to keep writing. Like, that's the bottom line. There's no avoiding that. And I think that is really the main question that people have to answer when they want to be part-time or full-time authors. Is that something you want to do? You got to enjoy writing the actual books or get some sort of satisfaction out of it, because what I see sometimes is people are trying to avoid that at all costs. They're trying to use all these marketing tactics and all this other stuff to avoid writing. And if that's what you're trying to do, then you really have to question whether this is what you're wanting to do with your life and how you want to spend your time, because that's how you're going to be spending a lot of your time by yourself writing the book. And that can be really satisfying if it's something that you want to do. But if it's not, then probably, there are 100 other things that you could be doing. Like, you probably want to do one of those instead, because it's probably easier ways to make money